You know, every great story needs a setting, right? Well, today, we're going to unlock the one Portuguese tense that lets you paint that picture. It's all about describing what was happening in the background when the main event went down. Seriously, if you want to tell better stories in Portuguese, this is your secret weapon. Let's jump right in.
Yeah, think about it. For any story you tell, before you get to the big action, the what happened, you gotta describe the world around it. You know, what was the weather like? What time was it? How old was the main character? That's exactly the puzzle we're gonna solve today.
And here's how we're going to do it. First, we'll talk about this idea of a scene-setting tense. Then we'll dive into its two big uses, talking about age and time, and describing things happening all at once. After that, I've got a killer formula for you using the word enquanto, and we'll wrap it all up with the key takeaway.
All right, so let's give this tool its official name. It's the Pretérito Imperfeito, or the imperfect tense, but don't let that formal name scare you. Its main job isn't to talk about the one big finished event, but to describe everything that was happening around it. It's all about the background.
Yes, exactly. I actually love to think of it as the scenery tense. So if your story is a movie, another tense tells you that the hero opened the door. But the pretérito imperfecto, that's the tense that tells you it was raining outside and a clock was striking midnight. See the difference? It builds the whole atmosphere.
Okay, first up, probably the most common way you'll see this, setting the stage by talking about someone's age or the time of day in a story.
So the rule here is super simple. When you're telling a story that's set in the past, and you need to say how old someone was or what time it was when it all went down, you're going to reach for the pretérito imperfecto. And this example just illustrates it brilliantly. See the two parts here. Tinha 4 anos, I was 4 years old. That's the background info. It's the setting. The main event, the action that was completed is fui ao cinema. I went to the cinema. The imperfect just sets the stage for that action.
It's the exact same idea here. What was the background situation? Era meia-noite. It was midnight. And what was the main event that happened right then? A festa acabou. The party ended. You see how that works? It's all about providing that crucial context.
All right, let's get to our second key use. And this is where your storytelling can get really rich and dynamic because it's all about describing several things that were happening at the exact same time.
And here's the key to it all. To show that two or more actions were happening at the same time, you have to put both of the verbs in the imperfect. This is how you create this rich, moving picture of a moment instead of just a boring list of events.
This makes it so clear. We've got two ongoing actions here. Anna was taking a shower, and at that very same time, her sister was making the beds. See, neither one is the main event. They're just parallel scenes happening together, painting a full picture of that morning.
Now for my favorite part, there's a little trigger word that makes using this tense for simultaneous actions incredibly easy, and that magic word is enquanto, which means while.
And here it is, this simple but really powerful formula. You just start with enquanto, then you add your first ongoing action in the imperfect, and then you add your second ongoing action also in the imperfect. It's a pattern you can use over and over again. Let's see it in action.
Perfect. Enquanto kicks it off. First action, eu via televisão. I was watching. Second action, ele lia o jornal. He was reading. Two things happening at the same time. So simple.
Let's try another one. Enquanto a Shana e o Felipe estudavam, while they were studying, what else was going on? Ouviu música. They were listening to music. The formula just works perfectly again.
Okay, one more, just to really lock it in. Enquanto ele falava, while he was speaking, and at the same time, fazia gestos. He was making gestures. It's just a beautiful and really efficient way to describe a scene.
Okay, we've covered a fair bit, so let's bring it all together. Let's really crystallize the most important points so you know exactly when to reach for the pretérito imperfeito in your own conversations. So let's boil it all down. When do you use this thing? You're going to use the imperfect tense whenever you're describing the background scenery of a past story. That means for someone's age and the time of day, and for when two or more actions were happening at the exact same moment.
And look, if you only remember one thing from all of this, please make it this pattern. The word enquanto is your key. Enquanto eu estudava, ele ouvia música. While I was studying, he was listening to music. This single structure unlocks so much storytelling power. It's a game changer.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Think of a real memory from your life. Before the main event happened, what was the scene like? What else was happening in the background? Try to describe it right now using what we've just learned. Go on, give it a shot.